Number 6, porn is idolatry. 1 Corinthians 10, 7 through 8 says, "Do not be idolaters, as some of them were." And looking back here, he's speaking of an occasion in the history of Israel. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. They ate too much, they drank too much, and they decided that now it would become a very wild night. "We must not indulge in sexual immorality, as some of them did, and 23,000 fell in a single day." Paul is saying to the church in Corinth, which was an urban church with young people and a very sexualized culture that even had a temple filled with prostitutes in town as part of illicit worship. I wonder if Paul would look at strip clubs today and say, those are temples to pagan gods. It was like that. And he says they were guilty of idolatry. And somebody say, idolatry, I don't even understand what he's talking about. The 10 Commandments begin with these 2 commandments. First of all, there's one God. And secondly, you're to worship that God alone. And worship of anyone or anything other than the God of the Bible is idolatry. And here's the truth. We're all worshipers. We are passionately giving ourselves away to someone, to something, to a cause, to a person, to an experience, to a pleasure, to a pursuit, to a passion. We give ourselves away. We give our money, our time, our energy. It's what we talk about. It's how our identity is formed. It's what we commit ourselves to. We're all worshipers, Christians, atheists, those who are members of other religions, all are worshipers. The only question is, who or what are you worshiping? And Paul in Romans 1, he makes this very interesting distinction. He says, well, the whole argument from Romans 1:18 through the remainder of the chapter is all about idolatry in regards to sexuality. But he says therein that they exchanged the truth of God for the lie and worshiped and served created things rather than the creator God who's forever praised, amen. And he really subdivides all of human history into 2 categories: those who worship the creator and enjoy and steward creation, and those who worship the creation as God. And some of you say, well, how do they do that? Paul goes on to say, through all kinds of sexual sin. He talks about heterosexual sexual sin, homosexual sexual sin. He even includes lesbianism, the only express place in the New Testament that addresses that issue. And what he's saying is, if you worship the creation instead of the creator, you will find yourself being sexually consumed with sinful passions. Because there's nothing more beautiful that God made than the human body. There's nothing more pleasurable that God has given us than the human body. And if you worship created things, you will find yourself becoming perverted. And make no mistake, every time you see an image, lust in your heart, go surfing on the internet, you're worshiping. You're not worshiping the creator. You're worshiping the created. And it's idolatry. And the issue goes